when the Valerian Empire faces a deadly alien swarm threatening their very existence. They turn to an unexpected ally: humanity. Once deemed too primitive to be trusted, Earth's forces rise to the challenge with unprecedented tactics and an unwavering resolve. As a war unfolds in the stars, one ambassador will come to realize that humanity's greatest strength isn't in their weapons or strategies, but in their hearts. Will this revelation change the course of galactic diplomacy forever? Prepare for a story where unpredictability becomes humanity's most powerful weapon. Ambassador Kazan, a representative of the Valerian Empire, appears deeply distressed as he enters the human diplomatic council chambers. Kazan is a crystalline being, and his physical appearance is marked by his translucent form, which flickers with waves of deep purple, a color indicative of extreme emotional distress among his kind. The Valerians are a highly intelligent and advanced species, and for one of their ambassadors to show such vulnerability is unusual and unsettling. The reason for his distress is immediately clear. The Rashari swarms, a terrifying and overwhelming biological force, have already consumed 3 of the Valerian Empire's outer colonies. The swarms are an unstoppable, hive-minded enemy that devours everything in its path, and the Valerians, despite their advanced technology and military might, are unable to contain them. Kazan is not just asking for help, he is pleading for it. His desperation is evident in his voice, as his translator struggles to accurately convey the urgency of his request. The ambassador is acutely aware that the Valerian defenses are faltering, and if humanity does not intervene, his people risk losing everything. He acknowledges the magnitude of the threat, emphasizing that the Rashari swarms are unlike any adversary the Valerians have faced before, and their sheer numbers have overwhelmed all attempts at defense. Kazan's diplomatic mission, which he once assumed would be routine, has now become a dire plea for survival. This request marks a pivotal moment in the Valerian-human relationship. It highlights a significant reversal of roles. The once dismissive Valerians are now in desperate need of assistance from the very species they once considered too primitive and unpredictable to trust. The dramatic shift in power dynamics sets the stage for the complex interactions that follow, as humanity will have to decide whether to aid a species that has previously looked down on them, despite their own past acts of goodwill. This is not just a plea for military intervention. It is a turning point for intergalactic diplomacy, revealing the frailty of even the most powerful empires in the face of an existential threat. Commander Sarah Chun, head of Earth's Defense Force, listens carefully to Ambassador Kazan's plea for help, but can't help but bring up a bitter part of the past. She speaks pointedly, reminding Kazan that it was the Valerian Empire that voted against allowing humanity into the Galactic Assembly 60 years ago. At the time, the Valerians viewed humanity as primitive and dangerously unpredictable, making the decision to exclude humans from the Intergalactic Council. For Commander Chun, this historical snub is not just a distant memory. It's a reminder of the prejudice and underestimation that humanity had to endure from other advanced civilizations. This mention of the past adds a layer of tension to the conversation. While Kazan's request for help is genuine, it is also a reminder that the Valerians once regarded humanity as inferior. The Empire saw Earth's technological advancements and societal structures as backward, dismissing the possibility that humans could contribute meaningfully to the greater galactic community. This act of exclusion left a lasting mark on humanity's relationship with the Valerians and other galactic powers. Commander Chen's words are sharp and reflect a deep-seated frustration that many humans might feel toward the arrogance of more established species. It is also an indication of the lingering distrust that humanity harbors toward the Valerian Empire. However, Chen does not dwell on the past for long, even as she highlights the Valerian misjudgment. Instead, she provides a measured response, showing both recognition of the past wrongs and an understanding of the situation at hand. While there is resentment, the focus shifts to the present, where the Valerians are in need of help, and humanity now has an opportunity to show its strength and principles. Chen's reminder of the past is not merely to reopen old wounds, but to underscore how far humanity has come and how, despite being dismissed, they are now in a position to offer assistance to those who once underestimated them. It is a powerful statement of humanity's resilience and growth, reinforcing the idea that the galaxy's power structures are not as fixed as they once seemed. Ultimately, this grudge becomes an important backdrop for the story's unfolding narrative. It sets the stage for humanity's response, not only to the immediate threat from the Rashari swarms, but also to the legacy of being underestimated by galactic empires. Humanity's actions, whether out of obligation or a sense of honor, will have profound implications for how they are viewed by the greater galactic community. This moment is a subtle but important reminder that even in times of crisis, history cannot be forgotten, and past decisions shape the dynamics of interstellar diplomacy. In a moment of vulnerability, Ambassador Kazan openly acknowledges the past mistakes of the Valerian Empire, admitting that their assessment of humanity was not only wrong but terribly wrong. His crystalline form, previously flickering with signs of distress, now dimly reflects a sense of regret. For the first time, he is confronting the reality that the Valerians' past judgment of humanity as a primitive and dangerously unpredictable species was a profound miscalculation. This marks a crucial turning point in the narrative, as Kazan's admission signals not only a shift in his personal perspective, but also a broader transformation in how the Valerians view humanity. This moment of humility is significant for several reasons. First, it's rare for an ambassador or representative of such a powerful empire to admit error, especially one as influential as the Valerian Empire. Kazan's admission of wrongdoing illustrates a deep sense of regret and an understanding that humanity is far more capable than the Valerians ever imagined. The Valerian Empire, with its advanced technologies and established status in the galaxy, had dismissed humanity based on preconceived notions of human inferiority. Now, faced with an existential threat, Kazan is forced to confront the fallibility of his people's beliefs. His acknowledgement of the mistake opens the door for a new, more honest dialogue between the Valerians and humans, rooted in recognition of humanity's capabilities and strengths. Kazan's recognition of their past error is not only about admitting the mistake in assessing humanity, but also about acknowledging the broader implications of their actions. By refusing to include humans in the Galactic Assembly and by underestimating them, the Valerians had contributed to a sense of alienation and mistrust between the two species. The diplomatic relationship between Earth and the Valerian Empire had been strained ever since that exclusion, and Kazan's admission is an attempt to begin mending those strained ties. It is his way of signaling that the Valerians are ready to reconsider their earlier stance and open up to a more cooperative relationship with humanity. However, Kazan's apology is not just theoretical. His recognition of the Valerians' mistakes is coupled with a pragmatic acknowledgement of humanity's actions. He reminds Commander Chun that, despite their past fears and prejudices, the Valerian Empire had been the only galactic power to offer aid when the Mars colony faced the asteroid storm crisis. The Valerians, despite their earlier view of humans as inferior, stepped forward in humanity's time of need. This gesture of help, in hindsight, was not just an act of compassion, but one that Kazan reflects on with newfound appreciation. The Valerian Empire, despite their fears and doubts about humanity, acted with honor in their moment of crisis. In this way, Kazan's admission of wrongdoing becomes a twofold acknowledgement of both the past mistakes and of the unforeseen kindness humanity had experienced from the Valerians, even when they were not fully understood. Ultimately, Kazan's recognition of the Valerians' error plays a pivotal role in moving the story forward. It shifts the power dynamic between the two species and begins the process of healing the rift that had been caused by years of condescension and misunderstanding. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship, where the Valerians are no longer just powerful figures who look down on humanity, but allies who must now learn to appreciate the full extent of humanity's potential. Kazan's humility becomes a key catalyst for the cooperative efforts that follow, demonstrating that even the most powerful civilizations can be brought to a point of self-reflection and change. When Commander Sarah Chun responds to Ambassador Kazan's admission, she emphasizes humanity's greatest strength, its unpredictability. This is a critical moment because it highlights how humans have turned what was once seen as a flaw, being dangerously unpredictable, into their most formidable asset. The Valerian Empire and other galactic civilizations had long viewed humanity as chaotic, unstable, and difficult to understand. The Valerians, in particular, believed that humanity's unpredictability made it a dangerous and unreliable species. Yet in the context of the current crisis with the Rashari swarms, this very unpredictability is exactly what gives humanity the upper hand. This unpredictable nature is reflected in the way humans approach military strategy and problem solving. Unlike the more rigid and predictable strategies of other species, humans are able to think outside the box, adapting quickly and using unconventional tactics that others cannot anticipate. In the face of overwhelming odds, humanity does not rely on traditional or expected methods of combat. Instead, they embrace flexibility and creativity, using these qualities to create innovative solutions to problems that more structured species cannot solve. For example, humans devise tactics like intentionally allowing themselves to be consumed by the Rashari's biological ships, only to then tear them apart from the inside. This type of strategy showcases human ingenuity, leveraging the element of surprise and defying the expectations of their enemies. Commander Chen's remarks reinforce the idea that humanity's strength lies in its ability to adapt to any situation, especially in warfare. Human soldiers, scientists, and leaders do not cling to established norms or rules. Instead, they embrace change and uncertainty, making them unpredictable in a way that can overwhelm even the most powerful adversaries. This unpredictability allows humanity to approach conflict with a fresh perspective, often outsmarting their enemies who rely on more rigid, formulaic approaches. The result is a military doctrine that is fluid and constantly evolving, making it a formidable force on the galactic stage. Sarah Chen also points out that humanity's unpredictable nature is not a weakness, as the Valerians once believed, but rather a defining characteristic that makes humans resilient in the face of crisis. Their ability to change, adapt, and innovate allows them to survive and even thrive in situations where other species might falter. This adaptability is further illustrated when Earth's military engineers develop a virus specifically designed to disrupt the Rashari swarm's hive mind, showing how humans are not bound by traditional methods of warfare, but instead craft solutions that exploit their enemies' vulnerabilities. The Valerian Empire, having seen humanity's unpredictable nature in action, begins to recognize that the very trait they once feared has turned the tide in the battle against the Rashari. This moment in the story is significant because it demonstrates a shift in perception. Humanity's so-called chaos is actually a strength that allows them to win battles and outmaneuver opponents. This also shows that humanity's greatest strength isn't simply technological superiority or sheer force, but their capacity for innovation and flexibility. The way humanity thinks and operates in unpredictable ways gives them an advantage that more structured, predictable civilizations cannot replicate. In summary, Commander Chen's words underscore that humanity's unpredictability is not something to be feared or dismissed, but something that should be valued. While other species may have seen humanity's flexibility and adaptability as a potential weakness, this moment marks a turning point where the Valerians come to understand that it is precisely this unpredictability that makes humans powerful. In a galaxy where order and structure often dominate, humanity's ability to think in ways that no one can anticipate has become their greatest asset, one that will ensure their survival and success in the face of even the most overwhelming threats. As the Valerian Empire watches in awe, they are confronted with a new and unexpected element in the human military response to the Rashari swarm: resourcefulness. Rather than deploying a few token ships or conventional military forces, as the Valerians had anticipated, Earth's combined fleet mobilizes with more than 3,000 vessels of varying sizes and capabilities. The sheer scale and diversity of this force take the Valerians by surprise, as they expected a much smaller, less coordinated response. The variety of ships and tactics on display highlights humanity's ingenuity and resourcefulness in both war and strategy. Humans, unlike more established species, are able to transform their assets and resources to suit the demands of the situation, and this ability to adapt in real time becomes a defining feature of their military doctrine. The Valerians had anticipated facing a more conventional enemy, one that would follow predictable patterns and strategies. However, humans do not conform to such expectations. Instead of rigid tactics and formations, humanity's military is characterized by its adaptability and a willingness to use whatever resources are available, regardless of traditional roles or designs. For example, humans take civilian mining vessels and convert them into makeshift weapons to fight the Rashari swarm. These vessels, originally designed for industrial purposes, are repurposed with industrial-grade lasers, turning them into effective weapons of war. The fact that humanity can take a non-combat vessel and transform it into an effective fighting machine underscores the sheer resourcefulness and versatility of human forces. In addition to improvising with available technology, humanity's tactics also include using specialized mobile combat hive suits, which allow human soldiers to deliberately be consumed by the Rashari biological ships only to tear them apart from within. This tactic is a perfect example of how humans make use of unconventional methods to exploit weaknesses in their enemies. It's a high-risk, high-reward approach, but it showcases the human ability to think on their feet and use the environment and enemy forces to their advantage. Instead of fighting the Rashari in a direct, head-to-head confrontation, humans cleverly use their own forces and technologies in unexpected ways, flipping the traditional narrative of warfare on its head. Perhaps the most impressive demonstration of humanity's resourcefulness comes from Earth's scientists, who develop a virus specifically designed to disrupt the Rashari swarm's hive mind. This virus is delivered through modified terraforming dispersal units, turning a standard tool for planetary modification into a weapon of war. The virus is effective in targeting the Rashari's collective consciousness, which is essential to their functioning as a hive mind. This innovation demonstrates humanity's scientific prowess and ability to rapidly develop effective technologies to counter previously unknown threats. The ability to devise a weapon that specifically exploits the Rashari's weakness, its hive mind, further highlights humanity's strategic thinking and adaptability. The culmination of humanity's resourcefulness is witnessed in the final battle near New Valeria, the Valerian Empire's largest colony. The Rashari swarm, driven into desperation by humanity's unpredictability and unorthodox tactics, attempts a last-ditch attack. However, the humans are ready. In a carefully planned move, hundreds of human ships cut their engines and power systems, seemingly disabling themselves. The Rashari, believing they have disabled the human fleet, rush in for the kill. But this is a trap. At the perfect moment, these dead ships detonate experimental quantum pulse drives, creating a cascading wave of spatial disruption that disintegrates the Rashari ships on a molecular level. This final, devastating tactic is a perfect example of humanity's resourcefulness, using experimental technology in a manner that the Rashari could not have predicted or understood. The sheer audacity and creativity of this tactic leave the Rashari with no chance to recover. In this context, humanity's resourcefulness becomes a key element in their success. It's not just about having the best technology or the largest fleet. It's about using whatever is available in creative and innovative ways to achieve victory. Earth's military has demonstrated that even when faced with overwhelming odds, human forces can turn the tide of battle by thinking outside the box and using their ingenuity to exploit weaknesses, adapt to new challenges, and use every resource at their disposal. The Valerians, witnessing these methods, come to realize that humanity's greatest strength lies not in their brute force, but in their ability to adapt, innovate, and find solutions where others see none. This resourcefulness, combined with humanity's unpredictability and determination, makes them a powerful force in the galaxy, one that no other species can afford to underestimate. The final confrontation between the Rashari swarm and humanity's forces occurs in orbit around New Valeria, the Valerian Empire's largest and most significant colony world. The Rashari, pushed to the brink by humanity's unpredictable tactics, prepare for one last desperate attack. They amass their remaining forces in a final bid to destroy the human fleet. However, what they don't anticipate is that Earth's admirals, who have been studying the Rashari's behavior and tactics throughout the conflict, have laid an elaborate trap designed to catch the enemy off guard. In this moment, humanity's resourcefulness and strategic foresight come to the forefront. As the Rashari forces close in, hundreds of human ships suddenly cut their engines and power systems, rendering them seemingly inactive. From the perspective of the Rashari, it appears that the humans have been completely disabled, and they believe they now have a clear path to victory. The Rashari, driven by desperation and emboldened by what they see as an easy opportunity, launch an all-out assault on the helpless human fleet, sweeping in for the kill. However, this is exactly what Earth's admirals have been waiting for. The trap is sprung as the human ships, now seemingly dead in space, detonate their experimental quantum pulse drives. This technology, which had been developed and kept secret by Earth's top scientists, is activated at just the right moment. The quantum pulse drives create a massive cascading wave of spatial disruption, tearing apart the Rashari biological ships on a molecular level. The devastation is immediate and complete. The Rashari vessels, which had previously seemed invincible, are suddenly rendered nothing more than debris in the wake of the pulse. The quantum pulse drives unleash a form of energy that not only damages the ship's structural integrity, but also disrupts their very existence in space-time, effectively disintegrating them. The Rashari, who had been relying on their biological ship's superiority, are completely caught off guard by the effectiveness of this weapon. Their hive-mind communication, which had been central to their coordination and tactics, is shattered by the quantum disruption. The Rashari, unable to respond quickly enough, are left helpless and vulnerable, their once dominant fleet wiped out in a single, well-executed strike. The human fleet suffers heavy losses. More than 40% of the ships are either destroyed or damaged beyond repair. But the victory is decisive. The Rashari ships are completely annihilated, leaving not a single one remaining in Valerian space. The quantum pulse drives have proven to be the turning point in the battle, demonstrating the ingenuity and power of humanity's technological advancements. This final battle is crucial for several reasons. First, it showcases humanity's ability to turn the tide of war with a well-coordinated, surprise strategy that the Rashari could never have anticipated. It also highlights humanity's willingness to sacrifice in order to achieve victory. The loss of over 40% of Earth's fleet in the process underscores the high stakes of the conflict, as the humans willingly put their own resources on the line to eliminate the Rashari threat. However, the success of the quantum pulse drive demonstrates that the payoff is worth the cost. The disintegration of the Rashari fleet leaves an indelible impression on both the Valerians and other galactic powers, showing that humanity possesses not just raw military strength, but the strategic thinking and technological prowess to outmaneuver even the most formidable foes. The quantum pulse drives also signal a shift in the balance of power within the galaxy. While the Rashari's technological edge was once thought to be insurmountable, the success of this weapon illustrates humanity's capacity to develop game-changing technology and adapt to any challenge. The Rashari, once seen as an unstoppable force, are now a defeated enemy. In contrast, humanity has not only survived but emerged as a dominant player on the galactic stage, with their technological capabilities and military strategies earning them newfound respect. This victory demonstrates that, in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's ingenuity and willingness to take risks can achieve results that others could not have imagined. After the battle, Ambassador Kazan of the Valerian Empire is forced to confront the reality of humanity's capabilities. His crystalline form, once dimmed and distressed during the early part of the story, now glows with a clear, bright blue, symbolizing a newfound respect and understanding. Kazan's transformation in his perception of humanity is significant. He recognizes that not only did humanity save the Valerian species, but they did so with a level of thoroughness, dedication, and efficiency that humbled even his advanced civilization. What began as a diplomatic request for assistance has now evolved into a profound realization of humanity's exceptional qualities. The Valerians, who once viewed humanity as a primitive species, too unpredictable and dangerous to be trusted with a seat at the Galactic Assembly, must now reckon with the fact that their initial judgment was entirely wrong. Kazan reflects on how the Valerians had underestimated humanity, thinking them to be a species that could easily be disregarded or controlled. But in the wake of the Rashari swarm's defeat, the Valerian Empire is forced to reconsider their stance. Humanity, despite appearing technologically inferior, demonstrated not only the ability to adapt to the most chaotic of circumstances, but also an inherent strength that was previously overlooked. The way humanity quickly mobilized, innovated in battle, and deployed new technologies like the quantum pulse drives revealed a level of military and strategic brilliance that the Valerians could not have predicted. This shift in perspective is pivotal for several reasons. It shows that the Valerians have learned a crucial lesson about underestimating other species based on superficial assessments of their technological status. For centuries, they may have viewed their own advanced technology and structure as the gold standard of civilization, while dismissing species like humanity as irrelevant or too unpredictable. However, the events surrounding the Rashari conflict forced Kazan and the Valerian Empire to acknowledge that raw technological power is not the sole measure of a species' strength. The ability to adapt, innovate under pressure, and fight with unwavering resolve, traits embodied by humanity, turn out to be just as valuable, if not more so, than any advanced weapons or spacefaring technologies. Kazan's acknowledgement is not just a moment of personal reflection, but also a public admission that humanity has earned its place in the galaxy as a force to be reckoned with. The Valerians, who had once voted against allowing humanity into the Galactic Assembly, are now recognizing that Earth's unpredictable and seemingly chaotic nature has been their greatest strength. The Valerian Empire's acknowledgement of humanity's capabilities is significant because it represents a complete reversal of their previous stance. This is further underscored when Kazan makes the unprecedented motion to elevate humanity to the Assembly's High Council, a move that passes unanimously. This decision not only cements humanity's place in galactic politics, but also highlights the way in which their actions have irrevocably changed the perception of their species. The new respect that the Valerians have for humanity extends beyond military prowess. They now understand that humanity's unpredictability is a form of strength that allows them to think in ways other civilizations cannot, adapt to new challenges, and remain resilient in the face of adversity. What Kazan had once seen as a weakness, the ability of humans to react impulsively and unpredictably, now appears as a vital quality in an ever-changing and often hostile galaxy. This marks the beginning of a new relationship between humanity and the other galactic species, one based on mutual respect and recognition of each other's unique strengths. In essence, this turning point in the story underscores the central theme of the narrative, that true strength is not always about appearing powerful or following the traditional rules of civilization. The Valerians' newfound respect for humanity marks the galaxy's shift in understanding. What makes a species truly formidable is not just their technological or military might, but their ability to adapt, innovate, and demonstrate unyielding commitment in the face of impossible odds. The Valerian Empire's recognition of humanity's strength serves as a powerful reminder that, in a galaxy of advanced species, the most unpredictable and resourceful species can often be the most dangerous and deserving of respect. In this pivotal moment, Ambassador Kazan expresses his confusion about humanity's actions during the conflict and questions why they committed their entire fleet to the fight against the Rashari swarm. He asks why humanity risked so much when they could have simply sent a small force to fulfill the minimum requirements of repaying the Valerian debt. This question underscores a key difference in perspective between the Valerian Empire and humanity. What seems like a strategic, measured response to a diplomatic obligation is viewed by humans as a deeply ingrained moral commitment to protect their own, regardless of the cost. Commander Sarah Chin's response is a crucial turning point, as it reveals the underlying cultural values that drive humanity's decisions. She answers Kei Zhan's question with a profound and simple statement, because that's not how we see debts, Ambassador. When someone helps us, they become part of our human family, and we protect our family with everything we have. This response crystallizes a fundamental aspect of human identity, the idea of solidarity and loyalty to one's own people, a value that transcends any political or military calculation. For humanity, the concept of a debt is not simply a transactional obligation. It is a personal bond that creates a lasting responsibility to those who have aided them. This sense of collective responsibility and commitment to each other is central to human culture and identity, and it extends far beyond simple reciprocity. What is remarkable in this moment is the realization that humanity's actions in the war against the Rashari are not driven purely by pragmatic military calculations. Rather, they are motivated by a deeper, almost instinctual need to protect their own, to safeguard the lives of their people and their allies. This extends to their willingness to go above and beyond, to risk everything, more than what was expected or necessary, to ensure that those who have helped them are defended with unwavering loyalty. This is particularly significant when contrasted with the Valerian perspective, which views such decisions in terms of strategic value and calculation. Kei Zhan, as a representative of the Valerian Empire, cannot fully comprehend why humanity would risk such a large portion of their fleet to honor a debt, especially when doing so incurs immense costs. For the Valerians, their initial view of humanity was that they were a species driven by emotion rather than rational thought, something to be feared and controlled. However, as they witness humanity's actions and learn about the underlying motivations for such behavior, they begin to realize that these emotional responses are, in fact, strengths. The ability to form deep, emotional bonds with others, and to act upon them with such commitment, gives humanity an edge that the Valerians, with their more calculated approach, could not foresee. While the Valerians might operate with a detached, objective mindset, humanity's deep sense of loyalty to those they consider family, whether they be fellow humans or allies, gives them an unparalleled capacity for sacrifice and courage. This quality becomes an asset in times of crisis and conflict, as humans are willing to put everything on the line for the protection of their people. Commander Chin's words, "We protect our family with everything we have," also reflect a core philosophy that is central to humanity's culture. The idea that no one is left behind, that the protection of one's own is paramount, and that this protection extends beyond just immediate family members to include the broader human community and their allies. This commitment creates a sense of unity and purpose that fuels the efforts of humanity, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The willingness to risk everything for the sake of others is a quality that sets humanity apart from many other civilizations, who might calculate risk and reward more carefully. Humanity's drive to protect those they care about creates an emotional and moral force that fuels their determination, making them formidable in any conflict. Kei Zhan's eventual understanding of humanity's core values is an important moment in the narrative. It illustrates a key shift in perspective from seeing humanity as an unpredictable, primitive species to recognizing them as a force with a unique and powerful moral framework. In the end, the Valerian Empire learns that humanity's greatest strength is not their technology, military tactics, or unpredictability, but their immense capacity for loyalty, love, and sacrifice. These qualities make humanity not only a powerful ally, but also a force that, once committed to a cause, cannot be easily defeated. This realization has profound implications for the future of galactic diplomacy and relations, as it signals a shift toward deeper mutual respect and understanding between humanity and the other galactic species. After the battle against the Rashari swarm, Kei Zhan, the Valerian ambassador, comes to a profound realization that changes his entire perception of humanity. He admits that he has failed to understand the true nature of humans, their unpredictability, and their remarkable ability to adapt in ways that the Valerians, despite their advanced technological prowess, could not have anticipated. Kazan recognizes that humanity's greatest strength lies not in the advanced weapons they wield or their military strategies, but in their ability to think and act in ways that no other species can imagine. This realization is the culmination of his earlier observations of humanity's conduct during the war, which had initially confused and unsettled him. For much of the story, Kazan had viewed humanity as an unpredictable, primitive species. He saw their behavior as erratic and dangerous, unable to be trusted with the complexities of galactic politics and alliances. The Valerians, with their long history of civilization, had dismissed humans as a lesser species, one whose lack of control over their emotions and actions made them a potential threat. However, in the face of the Rashari swarm, humanity's response shattered this view entirely. The human fleet's unpredictable battle tactics, their ability to improvise and adapt under pressure, and their refusal to be easily defeated, all contributed to the near-total destruction of the Rashari. Kazan had seen that humans could not only survive in dire circumstances but thrive, and this defied everything he thought he knew about them. The key turning point in Kazan's thinking comes when he begins to grasp that humanity's unpredictability is not a weakness, as he once thought, but rather a form of strength. The Valerians, like many other advanced civilizations, relied on structured military strategies and rigid formations. They believed that order and predictability were essential for success, but humanity showed that they could achieve the same, or greater, results by embracing chaos and flexibility. Human forces were willing to take risks that other species would not, using unconventional tactics like deliberately allowing themselves to be consumed by the Rashari biological ships in order to destroy them from within. This kind of out-of-the-box thinking was incomprehensible to the Valerians, who had long relied on their superior technology and tactical order to defeat enemies. For Kazan, this was a humbling moment, as he realized that humans thought in ways that no one in the galaxy could fully predict, and this unpredictability was in fact their greatest asset. Kazan also recognizes that humanity's ability to adapt on the fly, whether by deploying specialized MCH suits, using civilian mining vessels as makeshift weapons, or developing viruses that targeted the Rashari's hive mind, was another example of their hidden potential. The Valerians had underestimated the humans' resourcefulness and ingenuity, assuming that their apparent technological inferiority meant that they lacked the necessary skills to fight such a formidable enemy. However, humanity's ability to rapidly develop and deploy new strategies and technologies demonstrated that they were far more capable than the Valerians had ever imagined. Moreover, Kazan begins to understand that humanity's commitment to a cause is unparalleled. When humans set their minds to something, they do not do so half-heartedly. Their dedication is all-encompassing, and they are willing to sacrifice everything to ensure their goals are achieved. This is a direct contrast to the more detached, calculated approach of the Valerians, who might prioritize self-preservation or measure risk and reward before making decisions. For humanity, the protection of their people and the fulfillment of their moral obligations are paramount, and they will not hesitate to take on significant risks, even when the stakes are high. This quality of complete commitment and unwavering resolve is what allows humans to achieve feats that other species may deem impossible. Kazan's epiphany also helps him understand why humanity has so successfully resisted all previous attempts to conquer Earth. The galaxy, for all its advanced civilizations, had long viewed Earth as a weak and vulnerable target, yet no one had ever succeeded in overtaking it. The Rashari, like other invaders before them, underestimated humanity and failed to consider the strength that came from the humans' unpredictable nature, their ingenuity, and their relentless spirit. Earth, despite being seemingly primitive, had mastered the art of appearing weak, thus lulling invaders into underestimating its true power. This made Earth a nearly impossible target, as invaders could never anticipate the humanity's full potential. Finally, Kazan's realization about humanity's strength is not just about their tactical brilliance or technological prowess. It's about understanding their core values: adaptability, resilience, and an unshakable sense of community and responsibility. These qualities go far beyond any material advantage and form the foundation of humanity's true power. As Kazan contemplates these traits, he begins to understand that humanity's unpredictability, far from being a flaw, is an integral part of what makes them so formidable in a galaxy full of highly organized and predictable civilizations. In sum, this moment of realization for Kazan signifies a deep shift in the way humanity is perceived within the broader galactic community. It underscores the narrative's central message that true strength is not always about outward displays of power or control, but is often found in the resilience of a species to adapt and persevere in the face of adversity. Humanity's greatest asset, Kazan learns, is their heart, their commitment to each other and to causes they believe in, no matter the cost. This newfound respect for humanity will change the trajectory of galactic diplomacy and set the stage for a new era of interspecies relations. The final turning point in the narrative occurs when Kazan, the Valerian ambassador, fully grasps humanity's unparalleled strength and the depth of their moral commitment. This realization culminates in his speech before the Galactic Assembly, where he acknowledges that humanity has not only repaid its debt to the Valerian Empire, but has done so in a way that surpasses mere repayment, by offering a level of dedication and thoroughness that humbled him and his species. This moment represents the most significant shift in the galactic understanding of humanity, as Kazan goes beyond recognizing humans as unpredictable or dangerous to seeing them as a force of immense moral and practical strength. Kazan's declaration that humanity did not just repay their debt, but repaid it with interest marks the moment when the Valerians, and by extension, the entire galactic community, come to understand the true nature of human culture. Kazan's use of the phrase with interest suggests that humanity's actions have far exceeded expectations, demonstrating that their willingness to protect those they care about is not simply transactional, but driven by a deeply ingrained sense of duty and loyalty. This recognition is a turning point not only for Kazan personally, but for the broader galactic community, which has long viewed humanity as inferior and unpredictable. The Valerians, initially wary and dismissive of human capabilities, are now forced to acknowledge the profound depth of human character and strength. The next key development is Kazan's motion for the immediate elevation of humanity to the High Council of the Galactic Assembly. This motion is unprecedented, as it signifies a complete reversal of humanity's previous status in the galactic hierarchy, from being considered too primitive and dangerous to being granted a seat of great influence in galactic politics. The fact that the motion passes unanimously indicates that the galactic community as a whole has undergone a radical shift in their understanding of humanity. No longer are humans seen as an inferior species, but as an integral and valuable part of the galaxy, one whose unpredictable nature and commitment to their values make them an invaluable ally. This elevation is not just a symbolic gesture. It represents the acknowledgement of humanity's capacity to effect significant change in the galaxy. The decision to place humanity on the High Council underscores the realization that human unpredictability is an asset, not a weakness, and that their ability to adapt to ever-changing circumstances makes them indispensable to the future of interstellar relations. By granting humanity a seat at the table, the Galactic Assembly is not only recognizing their strength, but also signaling a new era of cooperation and respect between Earth and the other species of the galaxy. Later, during the celebration ceremony, Kazan approaches Commander Sarah Chun privately to ask a lingering question that still puzzles him. Why did humanity commit so much of their fleet to the fight against the Rashari, when a small force would have sufficed to fulfill their obligations? Sarah's response further clarifies humanity's core values. She tells him that when humans are helped, they do not merely see the act as an obligation to be repaid, but as a bond that ties them together in a deeper way. When someone helps us, they become part of our human family, and we protect our family with everything we have, she explains. This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates humanity's greatest strength, the unwavering commitment to protect those they consider part of their community. For humanity, the defense of others is not a transactional action. It is a fundamental, emotional, and moral responsibility that goes far beyond any strategic calculations. This deep-rooted sense of familial loyalty and responsibility is what drives humanity to such extraordinary feats of courage and sacrifice. Kazan, whose crystalline form now sparkles with a new color, one that transcends the known languages and emotions of his species, finally understands that humanity's greatest strength is not found in their technology or tactics, but in their hearts. This realization goes beyond intellectual comprehension and touches on a deeper emotional understanding. Kazan, once critical and fearful of humanity's unpredictability, now sees it as the defining characteristic that makes humanity so formidable and unique in the galaxy. He understands that their capacity for empathy, loyalty, and sacrifice makes them a powerful force for good and a species worthy of respect and admiration. Sarah's final comment to Kazan, because that's not how we see debts, emphasizes the stark contrast between the human perspective and that of other species like the Valerians, who view obligations as transactions to be balanced. For humans, debts are about relationships and the bonds that form when one helps another. This view of debts as a moral, emotional commitment speaks to the very core of human identity and is the essence of what sets them apart from other galactic species. Kazan's transformation, from seeing humanity as a primitive and unpredictable species to recognizing them as a powerful and compassionate force, is a crucial narrative element. It highlights a central theme of the story: the importance of understanding and valuing a species' intrinsic qualities beyond surface-level appearances or conventional notions of strength. Humanity's greatest power is not their technological superiority or military might, but their deep empathy, adaptability, and willingness to protect and fight for those they care about. In the end, the galaxy's perception of humanity is forever changed. What was once considered a liability, humanity's unpredictability, becomes their greatest asset. This shift in perspective not only strengthens humanity's position within the galactic community, but also sets the stage for a new era of collaboration and mutual respect, where different species can learn from each other's strengths and weaknesses. Humanity's capacity for heart-driven action will become a defining feature of their place in the galaxy, and their legacy will be one of empathy, loyalty, and the ability to overcome even the most insurmountable challenges.